So what, you gonna fire another coach?
Ha ha. No. I think firing 2 coaches in 1 season is kind of frowned upon.
Then what are you gonna do? Because I know this one doesn't sit well with you.
I don't know, man. This team has a clear identity that they refuse to buy into. They've got prospects in the AHL that I think can help right now, but they won't call them up. And the players just take games off every now and again. It's one thing to be good or bad, but to never know what you're going to get, it just feels like it can't get much worse than that.
Dude, it's really not that bad. I mean, think about me and where I come from.
Oh God, that's right. I'm so sorry. I'm over here complaining, but you live in Ohio.
Okay, no,
Oh gosh, you don't even have to. I mean, wow, you've really set me straight. I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry, man, because that is truly the worst case scenario.
Dude, no, I was gonna say...
My perspective, completely different. I genuinely thank you. That is so much worse.
I was saying that where I'm from, Ohio, hasn't seen many championships, which is difficult to deal with.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the champions. Yeah, that's what I meant too. That me and you, same page. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That's not a dub. Oh, man, that one stings. This one sucked, dudes and dudettes. This was awful, abysmal, detrimental to my mental health. This was bad. This was really, really bad. But we're going to keep this so unbelievably cheery. We're not, but we're going to pretend we are. Because coming off the holiday season, just Christmas, for those of you who celebrate, of course. It was fun. I had a wonderful Christmas. I really did. Me and high quality fiance just kind of hung out with the dogs, had some snacks, watched some Christmas movies. Did you know that Frosty the Snowman is only like 25 minutes long? I remember that being like a movie. And it's also disturbing in a lot of ways. Very strange. Very, very strange. A lot of those movies from the 60s and 70s that I still love. So we watched a bunch of them. I still love them. Very strange, we'll just leave it at strange. But there's plenty of reason to look at this game and go, whatever. Right? I mean, there's also plenty of reason not to. And I have some concerns that we're going to talk about. The Bruins came into this game winning 4 of the last 5. And the only loss was in overtime against a very good Oilers team. An Oilers team that's on fire right now. The Blue Jackets... not a good team, but really caved us in the last time we played them. Well, that was mostly on the back of good goals. We'll talk about that too. Coming off the holiday, a lot of times certain teams just aren't engaged. I don't know. I'm making excuses for them, but there's ways you can just kind of throw this one out, right? And you can keep your joy and keep your happiness and pretend that your electric meatball is on the positive side and doesn't want to find a bridge. Dang it, Bruins! I was falling for it. I was so pumped going into this game. It's been a few days since a Bruins game. I was looking forward to that. We had just beat the Capitals, which is a really good win. Whether or not you believe the Capitals showed up doesn't really matter to me. That's a good win. In anybody's book, that's a good win. I didn't even need a win here. I just needed the team to still look competent. And this was about as bad a game as we've seen all year. It was right up there with the entire month of October. The entire month. How are we in a playoff spot? My goodness. We've won 4 of 5 going into this game. There's so much reason to just go, okay, it was a bad game. And it was a bad game. But maybe we can let some things go. Maybe we can just simply like, comment, and subscribe. Nailed it. Maybe we can let it go. Let's talk about this Columbus team for a minute. At the end, we're going to have some game notes where I'm going to talk a little bit bigger picture about a couple of things. But Let's talk about this Columbus team. It's our second meeting of the year, as I alluded to earlier. The first was unpleasant. We had just gotten blown out by the Stars and then lost a stinker in overtime to the Blues. And here comes Columbus, right? And although they're not the hapless, flailing franchise that we were very excited to play for an easy 2 points at every opportunity, they still weren't good. At the time, they were 27th in league standings. The offense was there at 5-on-5, firmly entrenched in the top half of the league. But the defense was bad, the goaltending was worse, and the special teams were uninspiring. They smoked us 5-1 on the back of a stellar performance from Merzlikins and our embarrassing power play, which managed to go 1 for 6, which was better than we were usually getting, but they still allowed 2 shorthanded goals. They were net negative anyway. That game was right around the time that the trade rumors about Marchand started heating up, and it looked like the Bruins were going to be sellers at the deadline. Oh, and yeah, that was the last game before Monty got fired. Pretty substantial part of our season right there. Fast forward about 40 days to today, and, well, none of it has really changed, at least for the Blue Jackets. They are top 10 in scoring, but they allow the 30th most goals against in the league. Their penalty kill is abysmal. Their power play is on the wrong half of mediocre. Their tandem of Merzlikins and Tarasov make up the second worst goaltended duo, holding a narrow advantage over the Flyers, who legitimately don't have an NHL goaltender on their roster. So, not good. Not a good team. This is hockey. Sometimes you lose games to teams that are not very good. You probably shouldn't get blown out by teams that are not very good multiple times in one season. Probably shouldn't be doing that. But not if you're, supposed to be a good team. But let's talk about this Bruins squad for a second. The lineups are going to be the same. Geeky, Zacha, Pasta, Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle, Brazeau, Frederick, Wallstrom, Beecher, Kostelik, Kepke, Zadorov, Mack, Osterley, Carlo, Lohrei, Peak. And then Korpisalo is going to get the start. At first, I was like, what? And then I realized it's a back-to-back, and Swayman's going to start tomorrow against the same dang team. Hampus is still week to week. Pasternak's injury scare is still worth monitoring, but he does play, so you got to imagine he's feeling all right. Oh, there was something I wanted to check before the video started. Hold, please. Ah, yes. Fabian Lysell has 7 points in his last 6 games, and Matthew Poitras is just about a point per game down in the AHL as well. Just throwing that out there. Thought that'd be a nice little thing to point out. Without further ado, let's talk about this game a little bit, shall we? Puck drops! The first 10 minutes of the game, I think it took 6 minutes just to get a shot on net, somewhere around there. I don't have the exact number, but it was a bit of a slog. We figured after 4 or 5 days off the ice for these guys that it was going to be a little bit of getting back into the rhythm of things. And Brick mentioned in the beginning of the game, the team to find their game first will be the team with the advantage. And the team, he did mention that when the Bruins find their game, the details are there. Brick, who has been on fire this year, what a wonderful commentator. He's been fantastic. Buddy, yeah, I would agree that when the details are there, the Bruins have found their game and vice versa. It was one of those authentically just sports comments where you go, yeah. It took a little while for anybody to look like a hockey player out there. 9:47 left of the first period. Geeky is going to go for hooking. We're going to go to the penalty kill. Did not think that our penalty kill would be the problem in this one. And it was, but it also wasn't. We do lose because of the penalty kill, but we also lose for about 80 other reasons. 45 seconds left of the PK. The Bruins can't get a clear. This probably should have been a warning to us, but I just didn't think it would continue the whole game. They can't win a single race to a puck. Not one. If there's a loose puck, they lose the race to it. They're losing board battles, and Columbus knows where their players are, and they're moving the puck very well around our zone, and anytime they have to recover, not only are they able to win the race to the puck, but because they know exactly where their players are, they can quickly make a pass to a stick, not to the feet, not behind them, not 3 feet to the left of them, to the stick of the player they want to pass to. Just throwing it out there. So Columbus is winning all these races, and they manage to move the puck around behind the net. The defense shrinks down a little bit. Forwards edge up. The defensemen actually come to each corner of the net, trying to prevent any easy plays into the slot. What that means, though, is that Columbus gets to wrap the puck back out to the circle and then up to the high slot, where I believe this was Werenski who hammers this on net. Save made, but Monahan is directly in front of Korpisalo, jabs at it, puck pops up, bounces over Korpisalo and into the back of our net. It's 1-0 on a power play goal. Good bounce for you. Like, all right, man. Nice bounce. This is not going to determine the whole game, right? It's one goal. And the Bruins woke up a little bit after it. Just a little bit. 4:45 left of the period. The Bruins finally get the puck into the O-zone. I mean, literally the first 15 minutes, they were just asleep. The shots are 7-2 so far and should be worse. Geekie chases a puck down. This is what you could probably consider the only truly effective forechecking we saw the entire game. It's a little bit of a hyperbole, but the fact that I can even say it and now you have to kind of think of it and try to think of another shift where they had a heavy forecheck, it's pretty damning, isn't it? But it's Geekie, who is, as we all know, very elite. Geekie comes in and lays the boom to Severson against the wall, freeing up the puck for Pasta to grab, and he's going to skate down below the net. He is going to wait for the defenseman to pick a side and chase him, which one does, forcing him around the other side. As soon as he does that, though, he sees that he has Zacha across the crease, bottom of the right circle. Quick pass, tape to tape. Zacha collects, goes high glove. No chance for Merzlikins. It's 1-1. And we're going to the second period. It's a tie game. And I felt really good. And Brick, again, to point out something Brick said, going out of the first, he said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, that not good enough, but acceptable. Time to raise it to the next level. Like, it has to be better. Details have to be better. The Bruins never came out for the second period. At all. 4 minutes in, a coiled drop pass goes right past McAvoy, and it's a breakaway for Kent Johnson the other way. Korpisalo slams the 5-hole shut. Awesome. 12 seconds later, Marchenko is going to go for slashing. We're going to go to the power play. So, you just had your backup goaltender make a huge save, and you drew a power play. Do anything with it. You don't. It was depressing. That power play was depressing. 7 minutes in, the Bruins are pinned into their zone. Right after that power play expires, they basically get pushed back into their zone. They need a change. And Marchand manages to swipe the puck into the center ice. Now, please do not hear this as the puck is being chased by the Blue Jackets. It's getting deep into their zone. No. The puck is gently pushed to the center logo, where the Blue Jackets are waiting and get to collect the puck. After Marchand makes this play, he, Pasta, I believe it's Zacha, and I believe it's McAvoy. I took note of this. Yes, I did. Those 4 players casually, softly, slowly meander their way to the bench. They're drifting. None of them are skating. Remember, second period, farther line changes. Drifting towards the bench. The puck is back in our zone as skates are hitting the ice for the line change. I mean, this is a whole different level of bad line change. Lazy line change. Whatever you want to call it. As long as it's negative, I agree. Puck gets pushed back into the zone. It's a 2-on-1, which turns into a breakaway pretty quickly because the lone defender, who I don't even know who was left on the ice for this one, if I'm going to be frank. He's just completely overmatched because it's a 3-on-1. It turns into a breakaway for Fantilli, who goes high blocker on Korpisalo. It's 2-1. My note here was that was insanely stupid. What was that? I have no idea. The lack of focus, insane. 1 minute and 13 seconds later, the Bruins are pinned again. And this time, they aren't covering anyone. They're just flitting around the slot, really. There's a ton of open lanes across the slot, up to the points, up to the high slot. Wherever you want to pass it to, you go watch the tape from this play. It's wide open. There's a structure set up. They're not covering anything. They're not blocking any lanes. Not so much of as a stick is in the way of anything. So the Blue Jackets get to take advantage of this, and they are going to work the puck up to the high slot. It's a hard slap shot. Korpi kicks it out, but it's collected by Werenski on the left circle, who feeds Monahan for a backdoor chance, and it's 3-1. You're down by 2. You're midway through the second period. This game's not over. This team has really struggled. The Blue Jackets really struggled to defend leads, to defend it all. This is not a time to just stop playing. 40 seconds later, McAvoy's caught flat-footed. Werenski gets a breakaway. Now, the door is shut on it by Korpisalo, but McAvoy slashes him on the way there. We're going to go to the penalty kill. So you've allowed 2 quick goals, and you just took a penalty. Guts, heart, grit, show something. Kill this off. Not going to happen. Carlo had his stick broken pretty early on in this by a Blue Jacket slash. I thought it should have been a call. It wasn't. You got to play through it. So he's playing on the penalty kill without a stick. Again, the Bruins can't get to the puck. They're not winning any of these races, and you're certainly not getting any clears. So Columbus is going to move the puck around again. Kent Johnson on the left circle. He's going to get it. He's going to shoot. It's going to get blocked by Lindholm. It results in Carlo stepping up from the net front to potentially help clear this puck. But the puck gets recovered by Johnson, who then gets to whip it back down to where Carlo was supposed to be, covering Voronkov at the net front. Voronkov gets it. He's got a one-on-one with Korpisalo, and very slyly, from very in tight, manages to chip this high blocker, and it's 4-1, another power play goal. Ridiculous. 5 minutes left of the period. Marchand dishes to Lindholm on the blue line, who has a 2-on-1 with Coyle on his right. And he quickly and immediately moves the puck in front of him, where the defenseman goes, thank God, this was going to be really difficult if you didn't do that. Jab, pokes it into Lindholm's skates. He can't recover. A shot isn't taken. The Bruins haven't taken a shot on net in 10 minutes now. Over 10 minutes. I mean, that's one of those plays where you're like, could you protect the puck for half a second so we could break this play? No? All right. I mean, it's little stuff like that. It's insane. I don't even understand. Like, this team forgets fundamentals so quickly. It's insane to me. It's fine. We're going to move on. 1:34 left. The Bruins defense is falling apart. It's absolutely falling apart. It leads to McAvoy hooking on Olivier. We're going to the penalty kill. They get to keep possession with no pressure again. We're not doing anything to keep them to the outside. We're allowing them to skate along the outside, which we've been pretty used to at this point. That's how we do our penalty kill, is we very much allow them to have the boards. But there's no pressure or engagement at all. At all. And so they're allowed to move the puck from behind the net to the left point, to the top of the slot, to the far circle. Shots taken, save made. Lohrei doesn't have his man tied up, and Voronkov gets a tap in the rebound. It's 5-1 on a power play goal. Again, after this period ended, Connor Ryan on Twitter put out this little stat. Beyond the 3 power play goals that the Bruins have allowed, the Blue Jackets have a 13-1 edge in high danger scoring chances and a 26-7 advantage in scoring chances at 5-on-5 play. Do not get it twisted. This was not a good game by the Bruins that didn't go their way. The Bruins got their shit rocked all night. All night. They were never in this game. Ever. Not mentally, not physically, nothing. It sounds negative. But I'm just telling you how the game went. It doesn't mean that the Bruins suck. It doesn't. I have a concern, but it's not. It's not that the Bruins are just terrible. 3:04 in. Lohrei, he gets caught high, which is mostly because of another bad line change, but he does get caught high, and it leads to a fast break by Columbus. The puck is moved up to the left wall where Johnson will feed Pacia? I have no idea what this guy's name is. I didn't hear it during the goal call. It's spelling bizarre. It's fine. He's in the left circle. He's going to shoot this low into the outside. Korpisalo would have liked to either kick this directly back that direction or redirect it farther to the far corner. But unfortunately, he's forced to just make the save as best he can, which bumps the puck directly into the slot, where Marchenko gets to clean it up for the 6-1 lead because nobody back-checked properly on that. He could have gotten caught in my book, but it's fine. 6-1, this game's well over. Oh my goodness, we got mollywopped by those Columbus Blue Jackets twice in one season. That is such a fascinating... I was believing. We just beat the Capitals, and we have it structured. I was believing. All right, that's fine. That took me down a peg. 4 minutes in, Lindholm protects the puck really well. This is an impressive play. He crosses the blue line with a jacket on his back and a defenseman in front of him, and then lays a perfect pass across the slot to Coyle, who has Merzlikins selling out to his side, so Coyle is actually able to double back the other way and dunk it into the open net. It's 6-2. I wasn't like, ooh, the comeback's on, frankly, but, you know, it was nice to see him get that. Coyle scored in 3 straight. Marchand got a point on that, so he now has an 11-game point streak, which is nice. 8:27 left. Corrali for high sticking. We're going to the power play. No, we didn't. We didn't do anything with it. Come on. And after the penalty expires, Frederick has the puck below the goal line. He has a clear path to Wahlstrom, who's alone in the slot. All alone. He chucks it into his skates. Is this fair to point out in a 6-2 game with late in the game? Probably not. But it really is a great example of what the hell, guys. You got a guy wide open in the slot, a clear passing lane to him, chucked it right into his skates. It's a loss. So we're going to go to some game notes. The first game note is pretty negative. It's pretty negative. In fact, I think all these game notes are kind of negative. The first game note, the way this team just doesn't compete sometimes when things aren't going their way is nuts to me. It's nuts to me. I'm not big on where's the leadership in the room all the time. I feel like people are too quick to pull that out. But Marchand, what is going on, man? Seriously, like the lead by example is there on the ice. It definitely is. But the Bruins just became the first team in the NHL this year with 8 losses of 4 or more goals. They're the first team to get there, to get to 8 losses of 4 or more goals. That's bad. And I don't mean allowing 4 more goals. I mean losing by 4 or more goals. That's really bad. They're also tied for the most losses of 5+ goals. That's really bad. And again, I'm not going to sit here and just immediately assume I know what's going on in the locker room. But I don't... This team, roster-wise, isn't that bad. Like, not that bad. I get the whole, like, maybe they're not a true playoff contending team. I get that opinion. They shouldn't be leading the league in losses of 4 or more goals. That feels more like it should be a Columbus thing. A Montreal thing. A Ducks thing. I'm surprised, is all I'm saying. I don't understand the attitude where they just give up on these games, and I don't frankly want to right now. The other game notes, there's no one line to blame or no defensive pairing to blame. Everyone was really bad in this game. That being said, the Brazeau-Frederic-Wallstrom line has been abysmal since it's been put together. It had that one first game where we're like, okay, hold on, maybe there's something here. And then it's just been getting its absolute teeth kicked in every single shift since then. It is getting demolished. Wallstrom keeps trying to go 3v1 over the blue line. They've talked about how he carries the puck in well. Great. Don't always do that when you are getting stood up at the line. Let's start there. The forecheck for a line that should be forecheck heavy is non-existent. Frederick is one of the worst players on the ice on almost every one of his shifts. And Brazeau, I mean, they can't get possession of the offensive zone, so he can't do his job, which is to set up in front of the net. He's not going to be a guy who's on time for the forecheck. He's not fast like that. He is going to be a guy who can win board battles and win battles in the open ice, but you have to get him set up first. Does it mean I want him to go back to the second line? No. I like Coyle in the top 6. I'd prefer to keep him there on the wing. We have other third line options that are waiting to be involved. Can we use them? If I'm not being clear enough, I'm talking about Matthew Patra or Fabian Lysell. Please, I would really like to see some more talent on this team. Please. That line's been so bad. The last note I have. I am legitimately worried that we are last year's Capitals, which would be poetic and hilarious in some ways. And if we are, the great news about that is we get to the playoffs will have a massive negative goal differential, just like they did last year. And we have zero expectations. Like, if we get to the playoffs, just like Capitals fans last year, they were going against the Rangers. They had like a negative 40-something goal differential against the President Trophy winning Rangers. Did you think any Capitals fan was like, I think we can pull this off? No. They just got to watch a few games of playoff hockey. No expectations. Just have some fun with it. Great. That is something that the Bruins potentially have in their cards. Because the Bruins are winning more than they're losing. That's very clear. They have a winning record. But when they're losing, they're getting their absolute doors blown off. When they're winning, they win by a goal or maybe two. It's basically what the Capitals were last year. The Capitals are great this year, so maybe that's some silver lining there. But I am genuinely worried that we're the same breed as that Capitals team, and we're about to basically do the same thing that they did, which is squeak into the playoffs with a massive negative goal differential, with a team that does not feel like it's prepared to face anyone in a 7-game series, and then get our absolute balls kicked in. I'm concerned about that. We also just came off of a stretch where we won 4 or 5 games. Like, what do you want from me? If we come out tomorrow and kick the crap out of the Blue Jackets, we'll go, okay, it was a bad game. I still don't like the way we lose these games, and I think there's a bigger issue there. That's a symptom of a larger cause, but we turn around and we win tomorrow, I'm right back in. We won 5 of 7. Great. You know, like, that's how hockey works. I am genuinely concerned that we can't compete with playoff teams. It's fine. We'll get there when we get there. I just can't take too many more of these games. I can't do it. That's abysmal how they just gave up. I don't have any Korpisalo notes because although he wasn't brilliant, he certainly wasn't the problem. He was getting no help at all. That team was donkey in front of him. It was bad. It was really bad. Regardless, I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I hope everyone likes, comments, subscribes. I hope that the Bruins start winning more games again. There's one loss. Like, let's get over it. Let's move on. Tomorrow's another day. I believe. Go Bees. Go Bees! And now it's time to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's over 100 of you at this point. And I love doing these thank yous at the end, but I think we're reaching such a volume that I have to rethink this strategy because you're all so incredible and so supportive. But this is getting really long, and there's got to be a better way, right? But let's start the thank yous, of course, with the top line tier. Dampen, Chris and Erica, Negev79, Trial Exotic, Jeff McGugan, Brad Yaati, Andrew Peterson, Zenon Noel DeGuy, Donald Shelton, Anakin Palpatine, The Rat 63, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Adam Ella, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland 22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. You're absolute legends of this channel, and you're very appreciated. And now, of course, to our all-star tier members. Lorenzo Wood, Jake Brower, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, Jacob Pratt, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Ann Hustis, Joel, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. Absolute stallions, every single one. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I cannot express my gratitude. Go Bees.